Welcome to the Stage 2 recap of the 2025 Absa Cape Epic. We have Team Cycle Sports Alex Wild and Zach CALTON with us. This is the TrainerRoad Ask a Cycling Coach podcast. You just had a 66-kilometer time trial, and you're in a mountain bike race, which is wild. That's 41 miles. That's 950 meters or 3,116 feet. And a key point to remember is that Cape Epic is a team race. So even though this is a time trial and you were let off, quote, one by one, it was partnerships one by one. So even though it's a time trial, it's not an individual time trial, it's a partner time trial. The course started off with some rolly, punchy, downhilly stuff, and then you had lots of flattish stuff that probably didn't feel flat, and then it just progressively ramped up until it got into some really, it looks like some punchy, surgy stuff toward the end. Going to run through just this finish really quick, and then we're going to get to your thoughts on the whole thing. Today you had a finish time of 2 hours, 37 minutes, and 49 seconds. That gave you a total of your 24 minutes and 44 seconds off the leader and a 43rd stage position finish out of the field, which is lower than where you've been. We're going to get into that. Your GC position, you are now 32nd. You moved back 6 positions, and you have a total race time of 7 hours, 56 minutes, and 31 seconds. It was hot today, but that wasn't the reason. I was looking at your splits, and I'm going to show them on screen right now, and I noticed that on the second to last split or the third to last split, everything changed in the direction of where you guys were heading. You were moving ahead, and you were moving forward, and then suddenly something happened. What happened out there?
So, as it does, we passed the last opportunity to snag a wheel. On an innocuous fire road, was putting bottles in my bike, ice down the back, grabbed the gel, and then just. So our best guess is there's like a barbed wire underneath the gel. It's just literally a fire road with like a little dip. So some piece of farm equipment, barbed wire or something, just pretty big sidewall cut. Tried to throw 2 big boy dyno plugs in there, the one that looked like little ball bearings. That didn't quite work, so we're just like, well, let's tube it. Through the first tube in, go ahead. Through the second tube in, we got another good like 10K or so.
Yeah.
And then that one went flat. At this point, we're out of tubes and just have CO2. And so decided to put the new sub 1,000 gram Revol wheels to the test, and we just rode the rim in. Proud to announce that they are quite sturdy for being very light, and we did not break the wheel. We even went down the Toyota Tough section on it. No problems.
Whoa. Were you running an insert or anything in there, or was it just fully, you were a thin little flappy tire stuck on a rim?
I was running a tube insert.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it was just the rim on a tire.
Oh, my gosh. And your wheel's all right?
My wheel's all right, and we'll go 2 for 2 in the plug category. And my frame is all right thanks to Ride Wrap, because that was definitely going ta-donk the whole way home.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good point. That's it. It could have worn through carbon, having your tire just rubbing on the frame.
Yeah. So thankful to have both those brands in my corner, and I'm actually pretty impressed because I didn't baby the wheel because we were in a race.
He was cooking.
Even got compliments from Zach on the downhill. So I'm putting that in my like bingo card.
He was committed to just like slapping the berm and sliding around with the tire. It's impressive.
We were trying to make the most of it. We got to a sand section, and then I probably should have ran, but just out of pure anger and like a point to prove, I rode through it. And I guess Zach like bobbled before it. He was like, "Oh crap, I would have to walk the section." So he forced it out too, because he's like, "I can't walk." Where he did.
Yeah, he rode it a flat, and I almost dabbed, and I was like, "Do not dab right now." Yeah, it was.
It's like Zach recently raced BWR Arizona, and the sand section got him at the very end. I'm sure you. Yeah. You didn't want that again, Zach. Please take this in the best humor possible. Was there a bit of relief here that you could take a break mid TT?
Literally, yes. Like that was the first thing on my mind. I got to give him a couple pushes, which he's been giving me, and
they were quite aggressive pushes. Let me tell you, I was like, I think this guy really wants to get to the finish line. He's just like,
he's
yeah.
been doing
the freaking
like
trim.
he's been doing the push where you continue to pedal and like kind of push. But I found that it's just easier to just kind of ram them from the back.
Just a solid kidney punch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Man, this is Cape Epic, huh? And maybe something that people don't understand. You mentioned that you passed the last chance to get a wheel. But then there's another aspect to Cape Epic that fans cannot help you. If fans help you, you are disqualified. And
mechanics can't help us either. Like our mechanic can
that's
have
right.
stuff and just yell at us, but they are not allowed to actually fix anything in the Pro-Tech zone. The only stipulation of our Pro-Tech zone is that there's a Pro-Tech box and a Pro-Tech wheels, and you can put those in each section and have stuff, which the amateurs don't. They do have neutral mechanics, so it's a very well-serviced race for the amateurs, but we can have the stuff, but we have to do it all ourselves.
Yeah. Sorry to bring my Cape Epic experience into this, but I feel like it's a funny story and it's also relevant to this. Let me tell you. On a stage, Brandon, my partner, he's so fast. I was just in purgatory from the moment the gun would go off until the finish every day. And then I think it was stage 3. It was a long transfer stage. Brandon was not doing as well. I was feeling great. I was on cloud 9, and then Brandon had a mechanical as well. But then after the mechanical, he tore my legs off and turned the great day into a terrible day for me again. But the point is, he hit a rock with his chain ring really, really hard. Ooh. And what it did was it bent one tooth to the left, the next tooth to the right, the next tooth to the left. So like they were almost 90 degrees. And as a result, his chain, wouldn't stay on and we couldn't do it. It happened right by a farm and a corner and an intersection. And there were some fans there. And a guy literally had some vice grips. And he was like, hey guys, brought some vice grips specifically for this sort of thing, which was just in my mind. I'm like, how in the world, why did you have no other tools but vice grips, and no one uses vice grips on bikes, yet that's exactly what we need. And at first, when he asked me that, I was like, are you trying to get us disqualified? Like, do you know? Like you have to know, this is too perfect for the whole situation. Yeah. So we passed on his vice grips, and instead and people were going by and cringing, but instead we took off his chain, laid his bike down, and we were just beating the chain ring with a rock over and over and over and breaking rocks until we got the teeth to be kind of back in line. That's the story of this race. It's like, it's so physically hard. The pace is so intense. The courses are so hard. But then on top of that, stuff happens, right? Alex, how did you rebound? Because this has to be a bit of like a psychological reversal for you, in the sense that you've been like, you're the stronger rider that's been leading for Zach, that sort of thing. And then suddenly, to quote Taylor Swift, you're the problem, right? Like, now you have the problem. How did you handle that? You mentioned that you were angry later on, but what was your reaction and how did you react?
Yeah, I think kind of just kick in problem solving mode. I think I was doing pretty good until that last tube flatted and we were out of options. Like, if we had more tubes to throw in, like, that's a bit of time, but 6K through some sandy, flatty, grassy sections was not on the cards. But I mean, yeah, I think there was a little bit of pressure, I guess, taken off in terms of like where we're at, we can still claw back time. I think it would have been a bigger hit if we were fighting for top 5 kind of thing, in terms of like, it happens in the top 5, right? Like Matt has flatted out of this race with a dramatic flat. So I think in that regards, it was a bit of a relief, but I mean, it's never fun. And yeah, I think just tried to get to the finish line as best possible, a little bit of anger through the pedals, but do what you can.
Yeah. Zach, what are your thoughts on the stage? I mean, you went through, it was this time trial. You were probably not expecting this sort of a thing. tomorrow, which we'll get into, looks to be a proper day and a lot of heat. Where are you at physically, psychologically after that time trial?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's like you said, it kind of takes some pressure off because it's like we're just kind of in, up a creek here with the wheel, and it just sort of you just sort of like kind of laugh at yourself. We're still pushing to the finish, but yeah, in a way, it takes some pressure off, and just like you kind of just get to write the day off on some level, and so I feel almost like mentally fresher for tomorrow. Probably physically fresher because I got to kind of soft pedal the lot. Not soft pedal, but it's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get out pushes, but I can't always give him pushes because there's sand and other obstacles and stuff. And so it's like you do get a little bit of a rest. You finish feeling a little fresher, So I feel, ready to go, and it's like nothing to lose now. So a little bit of a mental and physical reset, which is nice in its own way. Obviously, I'd prefer to, have our 15 minutes or whatever back, but yeah, it was kind of nice in some ways because I've been getting throttled the first 2 days, and it's just suffer city, and so a little break from that was welcome.
Yeah. I can only imagine. I'm excited in a way that has happened. Like that's you wish it wouldn't, of course, but there is a silver lining there, and it's a significantly helpful silver lining, I would assume.
Yeah.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, oh boy. Looking at the weather, they've changed the start time of the stage. You're going to start extra early at 6:45 a.m. Within that, I'm sure that you guys have to adjust like your sleep schedule and breakfast and all that other stuff because you guys are going to go into this race a bit earlier. But the stage has been shortened. Instead of 90 kilometers, you're doing 78 kilometers. And that comes out to, oh boy, that's a really long way away. And I have old eyes, 48 miles. And then also 2,450 meters now instead of, I think it was going to be 2,800 meters. So you're going to be climbing 8,038 feet still. Keep that in mind. A 48-mile ride and you're 8,038 feet. This is the easy version of tomorrow. It's supposed to start out right around 80 degrees for you at 6:45 in the morning and get up to over 90 degrees by the time you guys are done by the estimated time of, what was it, Alex? What do they estimate for a winner on this one?
I think it was like 3 hours and 15 or so.
So you guys might be somewhere around 3.5 hours. Yep. So this is, and they're adjusting that, and they're adjusting everybody's start time to hopefully let people get done before the peak heat of the day, although it looks like it's just going to be toasty all the way. You're in Parle. You're in a new area. What are you guys looking or thinking of for tomorrow's stage?
I'm hoping for a little more single track. I mean, kind of like I said, we don't get any GPS files or really in-depth descriptions of these things, and a lot of them are on private trails. So there's an intentionally that information is kind of kept hidden from you. But just looking at the profile and stuff, it looks like some good opportunities to, settle into a good rhythm, make some of our time back, and hopefully ride like proper mountain bike. Like today you mentioned was a lot of flat farm road, fire road, literal road. So it, yeah. And so hoping for some of that, and hoping that, I mean, you never hope that other people face adversity, but we had ours today, and hopefully everyone else gets their share, and it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah, exactly. It does look like you guys are going to have a bit more mountain bikey stuff there in Parle. I know there's a lot of terrain kind of for that. Hoping for a lot of single track for you guys. That'll just put you right at home. Alex, any thoughts from you on the stage?
Yeah, I think day by day we keep checking in how Zach's doing on the fitness front, because we know he can descend single track great. So I think if he's still struggling a bit, I think the strategy we had yesterday is a good one. We kind of just push to get in front of whichever group we're with at the moment, and then try to bridge on those descents. And then if Zach's as Zach normally is, then we kind of adjust that and attack both up and downhill. But I think we play it by ear, and I mean it's still just stage 3, and even at the end we're not halfway done distance wise, so there's still a lot of time for people to blow sky high.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially in the heat, that sort of thing. Zach, you mentioned your heat training. I'm sure that that's going to serve you well for tomorrow. This is definitely a situation where tomorrow, I think a lot of people also from that TT effort are probably, now this is a generalization, but a lot of these riders probably aren't used to having an effort that's just fully on the gas nonstop like that if they're mountain bikers first. Like they might be used to a whole lot more surging power. This is probably a bit of a novel stimulus to them. They didn't have the luxury of having a bit of a reset like you did. I'm all seeing good things, like the Magic 8 Ball. The tarot cards read positive things for you guys tomorrow going into that. So I'm looking forward to it. Regardless of how it goes, though, I'm just excited to talk to you guys about it tomorrow. And I'm sure everybody else is listening to this.
I'm on the front tomorrow.
You got to rest.
I'm
I get the rest. So.
Yeah.
So that's our chance.
Our physio taped my back today. Like, I'm should be good between the tape and the rest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got a new conductor.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, everybody that's been listening to this, we appreciate you listening along. We've mentioned supporting Cycle Sport, their sponsor. Again, we aren't sponsored by them. This is just an opportunity. We've had Alex on the podcast so often. He's done a lot for coming on to our podcast and for all of you listening to this. And he was also willing to give us an inside look at this. And we just thought it was a great opportunity to kind of give you an inside look at the race, and Zach as well. But I think the best way to support them is support them individually and their sponsors. We mentioned Cycle Sport before. They've been listening to the podcast too, and they actually created a code for all of you that you can get actually a discount on parts from Cycle Sport. They sell a ton of stuff. They sell stuff from a bunch of different brands, from Specialized, of course, they're a Specialized dealer, but a lot of different other brands. You can go do that. The code's going to be Cape Epic. And if you enter that code, what was it, Alex? 10%? Was that right?
10% will come to support Zach and I by going through cyclesport.com to help pay
How
for
cool.
the adventure that is Cape Epic.
To put it in context for all of you, and you guys please don't externalize what you've spent on this, but from my calculations and from doing the race, it's going to be anywhere between $8,000 to $12,000 per rider to be able to do Cape Epic when you actually look at the cost. It's an extremely expensive endeavor when you factor in traveling from North America. And Alex and Zach are not driving around in Lamborghinis. Alex and Zach are privateers. They are paying for racing with their own money, and they're just trying to get as much as they can from these sponsors. This is a really cool opportunity to kick back. So you go to Cycle Sport, you buy something, 10% of that is going to go toward helping Zach and Alex with covering their costs, and we just think that's super cool. So go support Cycle Sport, support Yeti, Zach's main sponsor there. Zach also rides for Shimano, and he has Eliel kits, and then Alex has his DNA kits, carbs, fuel. It's all good stuff. Go support them. Maybe get some cool ride wrap like Alex did, so then your frame doesn't get a hole in it when your tire goes flat. Pretty cool stuff. Thanks, guys. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank
See you
you
tomorrow.